Tonight on Controversy, a boy vanishes from a West Des Moines neighborhood, setting up one of the most controversial investigations in American history, leaving Americans wondering, just where is Johnny Gosch?
Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
On September 5th, 1982, Johnny Gosch, a Des Moines paper boy, woke at 5:45 a.m. Soon after waking, he headed down the street, pulling his red wagon full of newspapers.
Though it was customary for Johnny and his father to deliver papers together, on this morning Johnny was only accompanied by his dog, Gretchen.
When Johnny was at the corner, about a block away from his home, a man in a blue, two-toned Ford Fairmont stopped him. The man then got out and asked Johnny for directions.
After receiving his answer, the stranger got back in his car and drove away. Within minutes, neighbors heard a car door slam, tires screeching. Johnny Gosch was gone.
The Gosches quickly called the authorities once they had confirmed Johnny's disappearance. However, help did not arrive right away.
Area law enforcement took 45 minutes to reach the scene, despite the station being only 10 blocks from the Gosch residence. By that point, Johnny was long gone.
Today, people will be shocked at what the situation was like back in 1982. Police had to wait 72 hours in order to search for a missing child. There was absolutely no national infrastructure for a missing child case.
Once the police did arrive, their questioning focused not on the 5 witnesses who saw the crime unfold, but instead on whether Johnny had ever run away before.
Johnny came from a good home. He didn't run away. If he had run away, the dog would have followed him. But the dog was still there.
The Gosch's frustration with this case must have been horrible. If your child goes missing, you will do everything in your power to find him or her, even if the authorities aren't helping.
And that's just what Noreen and John Gosch did. They contacted media, set up search parties, and pleaded for America to help find Johnny.
Thousands of people turned up to search for Johnny, but during all of the searches, the police chief, Orville Cooney, said to just stop looking for the boy because he was just a damn runaway.
By September 7th, sheriff's departments in 3 neighboring counties had all sent men to help in the search for Johnny. But Cooney told them all to go home because he didn't want their help.
You can blame Cooney all you want, but even the FBI agreed. Johnny Gosch was gone without a trace.
Slowly the searches stopped, but the Gosches would not stop fighting.
They spoke on the Today Show, they ran their story on America's Most Wanted, they did whatever it took to bring attention to their son's case. Especially Noreen. She had guts. She was bold.
Tragically, Eugene Martin, another Des Moines paperboy, was kidnapped August 14, 1984. However, police saw little connection between the Gosch and Martin cases.
The cases didn't line up. Why the 2-year gap? A true kidnapper would not wait that long to take another child.
While the police struggled to see a connection between the 2 cases, the people of Iowa couldn't separate them.
The boys were both carriers for the Des Moines Register. There was no indication that they would ever run away from home. How could the police say these cases weren't connected when it happened in our community twice?
In 1991, there was a break in the case. But could the media be trusted to report only the facts? And could the authorities be trusted to handle the new evidence? The controversy continues after a word from our sponsor.
Are you ready to make a difference in your community while having a little fun? Then join a Watchman for a push-up contest on Saturday, April 28th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Val Air Ballroom. Proceeds from the event go to building a new community martial arts and fitness gym for area youth. Push up your community spirit and sign up today at www.watchman.ngo.
In 1991, 9 years after Johnny's kidnapping, Americans had given up hope of ever finding him. But all that changed when a man named Paul Bonacci confessed to having a hand in Johnny's kidnapping.
During an interview, Benassi gave clues that proved that he knew Johnny Gosch. He was able to identify a birthmark on Johnny's chest, a scar on Johnny's tongue, and the stammer Johnny suffered from when he was upset.
However, even with all the evidence he provided, authorities did not consider Paul Benassi a credible witness.
Paul Benassi battled mental health issues his whole entire life. At the age of 6, he was sexually abused, and as a young man, he was subjected to false imprisonment, extreme emotional distress, and repeated sexual assaults. With his troubled past, it's no wonder Benassi developed multiple personality disorder, a disorder which made it very unlikely he could lie according to medical professionals. Yet despite this fact, Benassi's testimony and information was discarded and ignored.
Benassi's claims linked the Gosch kidnapping to a much larger scandal, the Franklin Scandal, an alleged child prostitution ring which served prominent individuals and businesses across the country, including politicians, massive corporations, and worst of all, institutions of government.
The child prostitution ring was led by a man named Lawrence King. King ran the Franklin Credit Union out of Omaha, Nebraska, and was also an up-and-coming Republican politician.
King had a lot of influence, and because of that, Benassi's information was swept aside, despite the fact that Paul could provide insights and give potential leads into King's corrupt organization.
Would John or Noreen Gosch ever know what happened to their son? This question remained unknown until one early morning.
Two years later, while Noreen was testifying during a case involving the Franklin Credit Union, a judge ordered her to discuss her conversation with Johnny. Immediately, Americans began questioning whether the conversation ever took place.
Maybe she did see Johnny, and maybe she didn't. If saying that makes her feel any better, well, I don't blame her. I will say this though, if she really did see Johnny, and if he really did verify his connection with the Franklin scandal, well, our justice system has failed on so many levels.
In 2006, Noreen reported that dozens of photographs of teenage boys who were bound and gagged were left at her front door.
Noreen Gosch sent the photos to law enforcement, and one of the boys in the photos did look like Johnny Gosch, but the police were never able to verify that it was actually him. Johnny Gosch is just another missing child whose case will probably never be solved.
While Johnny's whereabouts are still yet unknown, the fight to find him has helped many victims over the years.
In 1984, the Gosches and John Walsh, the creator and host of America's Most Wanted, started the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, an organization which has since assisted in the recovery of more than 250,000 missing children.
In 1984, the Johnny Gosch Law was signed into effect, which required law enforcement to act immediately when a minor was reported missing.
The Johnny Gosch case helped law enforcement across the nation crack down on missing child cases. Because of the Gosches, abducted children now have a fighting chance.
If you or anyone else you know has information regarding a missing child, contact the Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST.
It is a web of intrigue that started right here in the great state of Iowa and spanned the entire country.
Compromising the integrity of politicians, companies, and worst of all, government institutions.
The same institutions who today must continue to make sure whatever happened to Johnny Gosch will never happen again.
Until next time, stand strong, America, and when controversy arises, fight for what is right.